How's it going, Guardians? Shifty here, and in today's video I'm going to be soloing the Master Inverted Spire Nightfall with live commentary. On top of that, I'm going to be doing so without any sort of unstoppable rounds. I'm partially doing this to practice for Grandmaster Nightfalls myself, but this may also help you if you're heading in with a team or you're trying to solo this Master Nightfall yourself. So in just a moment I will be going over my loadout for this run, but before I do that, if you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright, so in this run I am running a Dawnblade Warlock using the Well of Radiance Super with the Empowering Rift and the Fusion Grenade. For my aspects I have Touch of Flame, and I have Heat Rises. For my fragments I have Ember of Singeing, Ember of Torches, Ember of Ashes, and Ember of Solace. Then for my weapons, as I mentioned, I will not have any sort of unstoppable rounds here, but in my kinetic slot I do have Witherhoard, so I can take advantage of my Starfire Protocol build. Then in my energy slot I have the Insidious Arc Pulse Rifle. This is going to be for barrier champions, and it also gets a 25% damage boost due to acute arc burn. Finally, in my heavy slot I do have the Storm Chaser Arc Linear Fusion Rifle from the Duality Dungeon. If you don't have this, you could use something like Tarantula or a different Linear Fusion Rifle. Lastly, I am using an Elemental Well build. As for my armor mods, I'll just quickly show you each piece of armor, and if you need to see anything in more detail, just pause the video. Alright, and that is it for my loadout in this run. There will be timestamps, and again, there will be live commentary as well. Now, let's get into it. So right off the bat, I'm just going to kind of sneak around to the left here.
It's a Red Legion research team. Research? All I can picture is bigger explosions. Cannot allow them any ledge. This war is gone.
Reason I wanted to head over here is to deal with all of the enemies up here so they're not sniping me in the back as I'm dealing with the enemies down low. Now, like I mentioned, I'm going to be doing this without any sort of unstoppable rounds. So we're about to see how well that turns out. I also do not have any sort of void weaponry. The one void shield in this area is down. Let's just deal with this captain real quick, and I'm going to head on down here. Now we'll make our way onto the next area. So in general, Master difficulty is definitely easier than Grandmaster, but I'm kind of approaching it in the same manner. That way when Grandmasters are released, I'm ready to solo them. So right here we are going to have some enemies that pop up. You can also see we do have some scions in the distance. I'm just going to go ahead and deal with those real quick. Kind of grenade all of those enemies as well. As you can see, got some scions up here. Not too big of a deal. And I linear fusion the Colossus there. So I pulled my Sparrow out right after getting into this cannon here. This will allow me to go just a little bit faster in this next part. So the reason I'm going without unstoppable rounds this time is because I wanted to use Witherhoard for the Starfire Protocol Fusion Grenade build. However, this isn't necessary. You could also use Anarchy instead, which would allow you to then use 2 primary weapons, 1 unstoppable and 1 anti-barrier. I opted for just the anti-barrier weapon, and we're going to see how this plays out. I almost forgot to deal with that champion down there, but it's not a big deal. We'll just leave it for later. As you can see, there's a couple barrier champions over there. What I'm going to do is toss grenades over into that group of enemies. And you can see there is an unstoppable champion over there. Overall, there's not too terribly many unstoppable champions. Mainly going for these Minotaurs quick. Alright, the Minotaur should be good. As you can see, one of the barrier champions decided to use its barrier. I'm going to go ahead and be ready for the next one. There it is, and this champion should go down. That was a terrible time to reload. And that champion should go down, and you can see this unstoppable's at about half health now. And it is finishable, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Should make its way around this corner. And a hop, go for the finish. Replenish my ammo, and then deal with the champions that are down low here. As you can see, we do have another unstoppable champion. We also have a barrier champion. I'm going to be ready for that barrier. There we go. I got 2 more fusion grenades for this one. There we go. That champion's down, and there is that barrier champion from earlier as well. So I'm going to get down here and deal with that next. And this barrier champion should go down. All the champions in the area are down. Just going to work around and grab a bunch of this ammo quick, and then we'll move on to the next area. As you can see here, we have a barrier champion. I have a wither horde on it right away. And we're going to go ahead and deal with it with fusion grenades again. As you can see, there's some Scion snipers up there. We don't really have to worry about those. I'm also going to kind of skip over these gladiators as best as I can by just kind of jumping away from them. Let's take care of this guy. Alright, perfect. As you can see, there's another unstoppable champion over there. We're going to kind of leave that to fight all the other enemies until the very end. We also have a void shield right off to the left here. See if we can break that shield quick while it's up. And I do have a wither horde on that. Be ready for the shield again just in case. Alright, this shield should go down any second now. Perfect. Next up, this other barrier champion here. Alright, and we should have this unstoppable champion left. So I have Witherhoard on it, and I'm going to go in with my linear fusion. Unfortunately, it takes longer without any unstoppable rounds, but you can still get the job done. I'll go ahead and finish it to conserve ammo, run around the area to make sure I replenish my ammo. And now we'll make our way to the next area. We can pretty much skip most of the enemies in this next section up until we get to the officers. I'm just going to kind of hug the right side here on my Sparrow. And once I get over here, I'm going to stay in this crater while I deal with some of these enemies like the Scion up here. Some enemies spawn there in the middle. I'm going to toss a fusion on those. We'll toss a Witherhoard out there as well. As you can see, I got my fusion grenades back. Let's toss a few more out there. Back away from any grenades like that. Alright. Now I can hug this right-hand side and deal with the first officer, which should be in this room. Alright, first officer is down. Deal with the phalanx, deal with these legionaries. I want to make sure I take care of a bunch of these legionaries that are coming this way first by standing in this building. There is still a champion out there that I want to deal with as well. To deal with that champion, I'm going to kind of come up to the right here behind this. I did get a Witherhoard on it. Should barrier. Still have a Witherhoard on it, so I can toss some fusions while I'm standing in my Empowering Rift. And there goes that barrier champion. It would appear that we do have another legionary hiding around here. Legionary down. Now we can kind of work our way over to the other building where we're going to have another drill officer to deal with. There it is. And that should be enough to take it out.
You know, Cade got stuck stealing from the Vex. Why didn't that happen to the Red Legion?
Calculating Red Legion similarity to Cade 6.0001%. Plus, you know, Cade's dumb.
So I dealt with one of those enemies. I don't really have to deal with the second one. I can quickly come up here and interact with that, and then make my way on up here. Now this is going to be a challenging part. We are going to have an unstoppable champion here. It's going to wrap around on me. Like that. But you can just basically rotate around this platform in the meantime. I got Witherhoard on it. All you have to do is basically dodge it like that. Anytime it gets anywhere near you, you're going to want to back away because it will boop you off the map here. As soon as it's finishable, I'm going to go for it just like that. And now we can move on. So it is a little bit more challenging when you don't have unstoppable rounds, but it is still very doable. So I do want to look for any enemies down here that I can easily fight from where I'm standing. Oftentimes there's going to be gladiators standing behind places like that. Alright, one of them should be down. I did get the attention of the barrier champion. And that should be enough to take it out. Now the real question is, where are the other gladiators? There's one of them. Just back away from him for now. And now here's the challenging part. We're definitely going to have an unstoppable champion. And what I'm going to do here, this is where I'm going to use my super. Because now I can just spam my fusion grenades and go for the finish. Just like that. I can stand in my rift and deal with these dogs as well. And all we have to do is kind of dodge this enemy until the very end. I can grab a little bit more ammo here. I'm going to want to try to find some special ammo in the next couple sections before we get to the boss. We do have some incendiors down here. Those are going to be void shields. And there is an unstoppable champion as well. What I'm going to do here, is try to avoid him until I get my super here. I can finish this guy. This guy's almost gone. And now I can rotate around. I do have a bit more special ammo now. Which I did get stuck to this unstoppable. I'm going to get out of the way of those snipers. We're going to wait until that unstoppable gets over here. Stick it again. Except I didn't stick it there. And I do want to get over here where I can use my super. Away from the snipers. I'm going to kind of stand against the wall here. That way when I get booped, it's not a big deal. And I can go ahead and finish this one. We can deal with the snipers if we really want to. I did almost die there, which was unfortunate, but I didn't have a rift to activate Class C Restoration. There weren't any wells of restoration around. So this is where it's going to get a bit interesting. I won't have too much protection here for the unstoppable champion. I will get a Wither Horde on the champion, though. I'm going to hop up here, hopefully. And this is where I can use my fusion grenade again. Just have to watch out for booping. And that should be enough to take it out with a finish. coming back around the corner. And we do have that Witherhoard shot on it. Can use that to finish it off. And now we should not have any more unstoppable champions for the rest of the strike, so we don't have to worry about that any longer. Now, of course, you could always make this easier again by, of course, using Anarchy with an unstoppable weapon alongside an anti-barrier weapon. I'm going to go ahead and destroy that stuff right there. Kind of get a Witherhoard shot out there. Alright, champion should shield. There it is. Alright, champion's down. Push forward a little bit here. And I kind of avoid the drill there, of course. Take out all the enemies along the way. What I'm going to do here, toss Witherhoard over there. Except I won't because it bounced right off that barrier champion shield. We'll wait for this already weakened barrier champion to shield again. We'll wait for the shield one more time. And we're getting close. Last champion should be down. We do want to watch out for these war beasts. I'm going to place a Witherhoard right here. Grab this Well of Restoration. Grab this special ammo. And then we'll head down for the boss fight. Alright, as soon as we take out these harpies, we're going to be starting the boss fight. So, let's go ahead and get this started. And when that boss fight does start, what I'm going to do is Witherhoard the boss and start tossing fusion grenades. So I'm going to Witherhoard first. Like that. And the boss is already moving on. Not much to it there. We'll repeat the process again on the second floor. It's going to take just a moment for the boss to be vulnerable, but we can get a Witherhoard on it to prepare. I won't be able to use my Rift here, but I can go ahead and use my Linear Fusion. And that was a pretty quick phase again. And now we're going to head down to the very bottom floor where there's going to be a few goblins that we have to deal with right away, but nothing too strenuous. I'm going to toss a fusion out there real quick. I kind of overshot that a little bit. I am kind of overshooting my Witherhoard a little bit. Let's try to... Alright, let's go ahead and start fusioning it. We'll go ahead and use my well, and we'll finish it off here. There it is. The boss is down with a platinum rating and we have completed the Master Inverted Spire Nightfall on a Warlock. Not only that, but we did it without using any sort of unstoppable rounds, just a Wither Horde and an anti-barrier pulse rifle. So with that said, I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.